Father like daughter. That apple didn't even fall off the tree, god damn it. Yeah, I got a story for you guys about that, about these bikers. These bikers, about motorcycles. Stay right there. So that was my daughter on that bike. She was that's my youngest kid, and she caught the bug. Well, actually, two of my kids, two out of my three kids, caught the bike bug. And I got it from my dad. My older brother had it for a little while. So bikers kind of run in this family. We love bikes. We love bikes. We love motorcycles. And my dad, in the intro video, I showed you a picture of myself and my wife. Then it was a picture of my son, my middle son. Then a picture of me again. And then it was a picture of my dad. When my dad was real young, he was a biker. So my dad had always been a biker. So of course, my older brother, he caught the bug for a little bit, but where me, my son, my daughter too now, and my dad, we were the type like, hey, we're going for a ride, let's go, or just call, hey, I'm going for a ride, I'm going to grab a beer, I'm going to grab something to eat, I'm going on the bike, I'm going on the bike, and then my brother-in-law caught the bug, a couple of his kids caught the bug. So we come from a biker family. So, well, the story I was going to tell you guys is, actually, so when my daughter pulled in with her bike, she got me thinking, about my old YouTube channel. And if you've been following along, I mentioned before that I had another YouTube channel, but I didn't take care of that channel. I didn't maintain it. I didn't do anything to that channel. I uploaded a few videos and I let it ride. There's copyright strikes all over the place. Half the videos are muted. Half of them have been removed. I mean, it was just all kinds of garbage on that channel. And I had mainly started doing it for the guys I was riding with. None of them had footage or photos of anything we were doing, of any of the rides. So I at the time, my son and my daughter, I have mentioned this before, that both of them have been interested in photography. So at the time, they had purchased a new camera, so they wanted to check it out. So we were happened to go on a ride, and they got footage of us, on a couple rides that we've been on. They got some footage of us riding, whatever. And so those videos I uploaded to YouTube, but we were all playing music in the background. We had music on our motorcycles. So that's why I said copyright strikes all over the place, because a lot of the videos were muted. It was just horrible channel. So long story short is, when my daughter pulls in with her motorcycle, I come in and I go to my old channel and I start looking at the videos, and I'm like, those were some good times. Those were some good times. And it got me to thinking about another video that I did about letting go. And real quick, I still have some Harley Davidson items here in my room. Excuse me. So I got to thinking of letting go. Last year, it's been a little bit over a year since I sold my bike. And that was the last bike I had. I had owned 3 bikes before. I was able to recover a lot of my videos that I'm watching, or that I had on YouTube. So I recovered them. So I'm going to show you guys that on B-roll. So just to give you a glimpse of what I did. So All right. So with my story, the way my story begins is, like I mentioned, I've had this was in these videos. It was my third bike that I was on. I was on my third bike. I had my first couple bikes. I had mainly bought them for work, just to commute back and forth to work to
Saturday
save money on
Friday.
gas and what have you. And my kids were small at the time when I got my first bike, my first and second bike. They were small.
Good day for
They were real young. So
spin.
I'd get home from work and they, want to go for a ride. So I'd take them for a ride, and, real quick around the block, and then just go home, take them home because they were too young to be riding around far. So I, my first bike, I did that for a little while, and then I kind of just got tired of it because I was riding by myself, and mainly just to work and back. And the money I was spending on gas was kind of the same as if I had a little car, a little four banger or something. So I kind of like, you know what, I'm done. So that bike is actually the one I sold. I got that one from my dad, and then I rode it for a while. And then when I was done, I gave it, or I sold it to my brother. And then that's when my brother picked up the bug for a while, and he was riding for a little while. And then shortly after that, maybe a couple years after that, I picked up another bike, and I didn't even have that bike a month because I didn't like it. I didn't like it at all. It was too small. The motor was too small. I was on the highway. I was, trying to
Lots of nice
gun it, and I was maybe doing 80 miles an hour, 90 miles an hour, and the thing was just screaming. That motor was screaming. So I'm like, yeah, this ain't gonna cut it. This ain't gonna cut it. My brother-in-law I mentioned earlier, he's in this video. It was his first bike. So when he went to sell it because at the time his son was real young and wanted a bike also, but he told him no. So then he thought it was unfair to him for him to have a bike and him telling his son no. So then I bought it off of him. That's when I only had for a month. I said, yeah, I can't, no way, no how. So I sold it back to him, and he ended up giving it to his son anyways. But so then his son caught the bug. So then me and my brother-in-law wanted to go and buy another bike. So before they went and bought the bike though, my dad was riding this bike that I'm on right now. He was riding this bike at the time, and he was done with it. He was getting ready to upgrade, so he asked me if I wanted to buy it. So I bought it off of him. I bought this bike off of him, and when I bought it off of him, it didn't look the way it does, or the way it did when I got rid of it. I did a lot of upgrades to it. Changed the handlebars, changed grips, changed the wheels, changed a lot of things. But the only thing I didn't touch was the paint job because it's a classic teal. So it's original Harley Davidson classic teal. So I left it. I left it alone. I left the paint job alone. I did add a fairing. I did add saddlebags, and I painted those the same to match the factory paint. The only reason why I put that fairing is because I wanted a stereo. At the time, everybody had the stereos and fixing up their bikes. And
still rolling up.
so when I got that Harley, still I rode by myself for a little while. I was riding by myself, and my wife's boss at the time, he rode. And then he mentioned to me that they were going to have a meetup and that they would be riding somewhere, and if I'd like to join them. So I was like, yeah, sure. So I did, and I joined them.
This is it for the QT.
That was it. I was hooked. I was really hooked then because all these guys that I was riding with, started to ride with, they were just all cool. They were real cool people, real good people. We would get on rides, or we would do rides together and do benefit rides, do fundraisers. We would ride to dealerships and do promotions. We would do escort services. We did a lot. We did a lot with these guys. I started to really love it. And as time went on, it just got bigger and bigger and bigger. So it was getting pretty big, pretty fast, pretty big, pretty fast. And it was almost like there was a movement going on here with bikers. So then we'd have Arizona Bike Week, and that was huge. So we would meet up, at QT gas station. And from there, we would just all head over to wherever we were going. And it was a bunch of us. It was good times. We would meet up. we'd meet up with good people, you know, saw places, traveled the state on that motorcycle, you know, put a lot of miles on that, you know, put a lot of miles on it, had a good time. But there came a time where my wife and I spoke about it. We sat down and actually had to talk, and it was time to hang up my helmet, you know, with all my health issues going on and everything that I will be facing, you know, in the future. I just thought, you know, yeah, it's better to hang up my helmet now. And so I did. I quit riding for a while, but I actually held on to my bike. I held on to my bike for some years after that, for maybe like 3 years, 4 years after I quit riding. I held on to it with hopes. I was hopes, you know, I was hoping I'd be able to ride again, but unfortunately that wasn't going to happen. So I had to sell it. So it's been a little over a year. I think in May was a year that I sold it. So a gentleman from New Mexico drove down with his trailer and picked it up, and that was it. That was the end of that deal. So, like I said, I have these videos as memories now. I was glad I was able to recover them. I have my pictures that I'm gonna hold on to. As far as these picture frames, you know, like I said, my son still rides, my daughter still rides. Uh, I don't know if I'm gonna keep them up in my room anymore. I might just put them in the garage, you know, once I clean it up, because that garage is horrible. But once I clean that garage, what I'll do is put these posters in there. But now that I'm in this new endeavor, this YouTube journey, when I get into my hobbies, I want to get into it. So I want to make this feel more of, how should I say it? I don't want to necessarily say a YouTube studio, but I want to make it more film friendly, more so no matter what angle I turn, I can get a good shot, and I don't have to worry about what's in the background or what's on the side of me, you know, as far as jump that I have or anything. But that's gonna do it for me, guys. I'm rambling on again. So that's it. This was a glimpse of the bikes we used to ride, and you know, a lot of different styles, a lot of different people met up with, and it was a good time. I met quite a bit of people doing this, and it was a fun time, and it was a blast. It was a blast while it lasted. But that's gonna do it for me, guys. I'm gonna finish editing up some stuff, and gotta get some stuff done around the house. But until the next one.